Joyce? Joyce? Joyce, I'm pregnant.
Oh, Sheila, you could have killed me.
Yes, and I can just imagine the funeral. One bit of smutty gossip, the coffin lid flips open and up pops Big Ears.
I'm exhausted. I haven't had a proper night's sleep in weeks.
Oh, Alec been on the oysters again?
No, it's Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Well, since you did the dirty on him and dumped him for Paco, God knows why, Jonathan has been sleeping on my sofa.
Yes.
Well, he had nowhere else to go. Still, that's no concern of yours.
Don't care where he sleeps. He's a free man now. He can build a nest up a tree, for all I care.
You say so?
So how's he keeping you awake?
He snores like a trooper.
Well, why don't you just nudge him and roll over?
Sheila, it's so loud he set off next door's burglar alarm. Why didn't you warn me? You must have heard him when you lived together.
Well, if you must know, I'm a very heavy sleeper.
Heavy? You must sleep without a pulse.
Well, have you confronted him with this?
Well, it's a bit difficult. He's feeling depressed.
Oh, that doesn't take much. If you swap his breakfast fry-up for muesli, he needs therapy.
He's depressed because he still misses you. Jonathan's more sensitive than you think.
Sensitive? You are talking about the man who thought Love Story could have done with a good car chase.
And what about you? The Jezebel who tossed her fiancé aside like a sweet wrapper.
Joyce, I am very happy with Paco. Jonathan and I are history.
Are you?
The only relationship we have now is purely professional.
Is it? No mixed feelings?
Read my lips. Finished. Finito. Kaput.
All I can read is dirty, rotten liar.
Stay with the patient until Dr. Haslam arrives. So do you want to go to this club or not?
If you want.
Oh, give us a laugh, Michael. You're so miserable lately. If your face gets any longer, you'll trip over it.
I don't feel like I'm going anywhere.
You could be going to a club.
I meant I'm not achieving anything, Cheryl. I don't want to be an operating department assistant all my life. If I died tomorrow, how would I be remembered? He was born, he partied, he checked out.
Rubbish. You're moonlighting as a stripper. That's what I'll remember.
Really?
Who could ever forget your saucy sailor or kinky copper routines?
They were pretty good, weren't they?
I can see your epitaph now.
What?
He died with his boots on, and not much else.
Has anybody noticed how Joyce is behaving oddly? She's walking about like she's only half there.
Half there? She's improving.
I know what you mean. I was talking to her and she just drifted off.
That's the bane of having a riveting personality, Giles.
Look, I just want to leave my mark.
All right. Everest has been climbed. Penicillin's been discovered, and Fergie's had her toe sucked. What's left?
Well, certainly not my bourbons. This really is beyond contempt. Yesterday, some swine pinched my hobnobs. What's up with you?
Michael wants to be remembered for something before he curls up his toes.
You're underestimating yourself. You're helping to save people's lives. What could be better than that? Charging them for it, ask George.
Well, I think what our young friend means is that all of us would like to be remembered in some way.
And what's it going to be for you, George?
Well, I've always set my sights on an article in the Lancet.
You know they don't pay.
Really? Well, I'll be jiggered.
Oh, I'd buy tickets for that.
Yes, we were just discussing how we'd like to be remembered when we're 6 feet under. Would you have any thoughts?
With half a ton of mud on my head, I very much doubt it. Jonathan, could I have a word?
What about?
Joyce has a problem.
We've noticed. She doesn't seem able to concentrate for more than 5 seconds.
And do you know why she can't concentrate for more than 5 seconds?
I assumed it was hereditary.
Because you are keeping her awake all night.
I say, tell us more.
What do you mean?
You snore.
I do not snore.
Ha-ha! A case of the midnight buglers.
According to Joyce, he sounds like a 10-foot pig with amoebic dysentery.
I do not snore. And may
ask what business this is of yours?
Joyce happens to be our unit manager. Anything that interferes with her efficiency interferes with this department.
Well, she's exaggerating. Everybody snores a bit.
Speak for yourself. No one's ever accused me of being a window rattler.
Me neither, old one.
Nor me. Though apparently I do groan a little.
Michael groans a lot.
Yes, we're talking about during sleep, Cheryl, not before.
If I snore, and I'm not admitting that I do, how come you never notice when we...
There is snoring and snoring. Some of it is acceptable, some of it is not. Clearly yours is not.
Rubbish.
Well,
That's not me.
that's you.
Joyce placed this behind the sofa last night.
I repeat, that is not me. Nobody snores that loud. It's not humanly possible.
Then how come the neighbours complained about me sanding floors at 2 in the morning?
Don't be ridiculous.
Play it again, Sam.
Excuse me, are those damned workmen drilling outside?
That is Dr. Haslam, who doesn't snore.
Good. God, man, if your nose came away during that, it could kill someone.
OK. So I snore a little.
A little? You could use that tape to scare crows off runways.
Well, how was I to know it was that loud? I'm asleep when it happens, you know.
Well, I wish I had been.
Surely one of your totties must have mentioned it in the past.
Probably died of concussion.
Very funny. All right, Joyce, you win. I'll book into a hotel.
Make sure it's not too close.
Has anybody else got any more jokes? Because I'm really enjoying this.
Jonathan's right. Snoring is not always a laughing matter.
Thank you, George. George, this is your territory. Can't you do something to help? I mean, you've heard worse, haven't you?
Not outside a farmyard, old boy.
It's no wonder Sabatini dumped him and romped off with that Paco chap. I've never heard such honking.
One of my girlfriends used to snore quite horrendously.
Oh, what did you do?
Well, I noticed she only snored on her back, so I suggested she sew a ping-pong ball into the back of her teddy.
How on earth would it help sewing a ping-pong ball into her teddy?
To stop the snoring, of course.
You mean they both snored? Well, I hate to be the one to shatter your childhood illusions, my dear chap, but teddies do not snore.
No, a teddy's a name for a piece of lingerie.
Oh, good Lord, is it? Then my wife must wear a gorilla.
So, did you manage to sort out Jonathan snoring?
I'm not allowed to divulge that. Patient confidentiality.
Don't be asinine. I am the director of surgery.
And I'm Jonathan's consultant. My lips are sealed.
That'll mean a lot less hot air around here.
And did the ping-pong ball do the trick?
No, it gave her a slipped disc.
And that's when you decided to take up treating people professionally, was it?
God help medicine.
Coffee.
Yeah, thank you. What's the diagnosis on Jonathan, George?
Nasal polyps. They make him breathe through his mouth and possibly could cause his snoring.
Yes. Will you have to operate?
Ah, absolutely. They'll have to go.
Has he agreed?
Yes, he will. He's a sensible chap.
Now, hang on, George. This could be what you're looking for to get you in the Lancet.
He's got nasal polyps, not Japanese river fever.
Yes, but having got your funding for the sleep laboratory over at the Whitcliffe...
Well, that's not really up and running yet, but... Oh, I see what you mean.
What is a sleep laboratory?
It's where patients are monitored overnight for sleep disorders that might affect their health.
It's a sort of honker's hotel, Giles.
I've already got one guinea pig lined up, but 2 in the bag would be even better.
Exactly, George.
And if one of them did come up trumps with some awful affliction, like sleep apnea, well, wouldn't that be fascinating?
Do you think Dr. Haslam would agree?
Did that poor girl agree to have a ping-pong ball sewn into her teddy?
He operated on a teddy bear.
Giles had a very disturbed adolescence.
I see. Anyway, I wouldn't be taking advantage of Jonathan's predicament, just investigating his abnormal snoring.
No, absolutely. And if there are any findings, the Lancet should be informed.
Precisely.
And if there is any justice, they will print it with George's name in big letters.
Naturally.
After all, you are knocking on. This could be your last chance.
Absolutely. No.
Oh, for Pete's sake. How is anybody supposed to sleep in here? Will you shut up?
Now, Dr. Haslam. This is a sleep laboratory, not the House of Commons.
How are you supposed to sleep with that racket going on? If he keeps that up, he'll have the wall down.
Now you know how your poor wife feels.
Not that it's any business of yours, but I don't happen to have a wife.
I can't imagine why. Here, I've got you a hot drink to help you sleep.
It's not a hot drink I need, it's earplugs.
Apparently, when you drop off, so will I.
Thank you, Florence Nightingale. Will you shut up? Oh, I give up. Sheila, what on earth are you doing here?
Oh, just passing.
Just passing. It's nearly 11 o'clock.
Well, I had an emergency call, one of my private patients, so I thought I'd pop in and see how you are.
Doesn't the RMO usually deal with emergencies?
Not always. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Obviously, if there are two emergencies, he can't.
Can't what?
Look, would you like me to leave?
No. No, you're here now. Might as well stay. I can't sleep anyway.
I hear George is testing you for sleep apnea. That can be serious.
Yeah.
You temporarily stop breathing while you're asleep.
Yes, I know.
It can cause high blood pressure, angina.
I have not got sleep apnea. I only came in here to shut George up. Plus, it's cheaper than a hotel.
At least in hotels, they don't clamp giant bulldog clips to your extremities. Though I did hear about a place in Earl's Court.
It's a pulse oximeter. Measures the saturated oxygen level. Why this sudden interest, anyway?
Look, I'd better be going, I think.
No. No, you don't have to. Come on, sit down.
Well, I can't stay long.
Got a date with Paco, have you?
No. Oh, what are you listening to? Brahms? Oh, Alvin Stardust. I had no idea you were a highbrow, Jonathan.
I never thought you'd humiliate me like that.
Well, don't take it so badly. Not everyone can jump straight into Mantovani.
You know what I mean. You were Paco. I trusted you, Sheila.
Look, I didn't plan it. I just got a little tipsy.
Oh, brilliant. Well, let's hope the milkman doesn't bang on the door when you've had a few.
Don't be fatuous, Jonathan. Look, I'm tired. I have been up since 6:30. The last thing I need is another slanging match with you. I just dropped in to see how you are.
You know, Sheila, I really thought we had something going, you and I. I thought after all this time I'd finally found the right woman. No more eating out at the dreaded table for one, with snooty waiters making, "Is Sir eating alone?" sound like, "Has Sir got a disease?" No more trudging home to an empty house and saying, "Home, darling," to the goldfish. No more buying pilchards to entice next door's cat in for company. I actually thought, idiot that I am, that you cared for me. And do you know what is really idiotic? I still want you. There, I've said it.
Flips.
If you really want to make your mark before you croak, how about running for Parliament?
This is important to me, Cheryl. I wish you'd take it seriously.
All right, then. It's back to lion taming.
Michael, you've got plenty of time to achieve things before you hand in your dinner pail.
My first ambition was to be a pilot. Up there among the clouds.
Yes, and you wouldn't even need a plane.
It's all right for you surgeons. You've got where you want to be.
What do you mean, paddling about in this man's large bowel? Look, can we please get on? We have a patient here who'd like to live. Ties.
I hear you're having an operation, Dr. Haslam. Are you all right, Mrs. Sabatini?
Of course I'm all right. Why do you ask, sister? Are you a doctor all of a sudden? Ties! What operation is this?
Do I detect a note of concern here, Sheila?
Purely professional. Mop. It's unusually hot in here. Has anyone else noticed?
No.
What operation is this?
Mr. Hope Wynne will be performing a polypectomy, and it's nothing for anybody to be concerned about.
Who's concerned?
Well, it sounded as if you were.
That's what I thought. Didn't you, Michael?
It is rather hot in here, isn't it? Giles?
Well, actually... Could you repeat the question?
I am not concerned. I'm just surprised you'd let that old fossil poke about in your nose. Also, I think you could have told me.
What for?
Yes, you're right. I don't know why I bothered asking. I mean, it's nothing to me that you're having an operation. Why should I care? I mean, I hope for your sake that you don't get rectal polyps as well, otherwise you'd be blasting out of both ends. But why should I care? It's no concern of mine. Jonathan!
I'd like to know what's going on.
My dear woman, I saw...
All your operating lists have been changed. Now, I am an extremely efficient administrator, and I keep a very close eye on my rosters. And let me tell you, there's been some skullduggery going on. Perhaps you'd be kind enough to explain.
Well,
Don't give me that rubbish. I intend to get to the bottom of this, and when I do, woe betide the perpetrator.
Now, look, Grace.
I am not your wife. I am your worst nightmare.
You handled that brilliantly.
It's not funny. I'm driven mad by women on all sides. Everywhere I turn, that damn Sabatini's poking her nose into Jonathan's operation. Is it really necessary? Who's the anaesthetist? Who's assisting? In the end, I told her I refuse to be cross-examined like that. I really put my foot down.
And then?
I lay low in the gents for half an hour.
Sensible chap. Bit of a nuisance, that. Jonathan and the other guinea pig not having sleep apnea. It's rather shot down your Lancet article.
Yes, shame about that. Not that I wish Jonathan had it, of course, but there's still time to find another case.
Yes, you could always advertise in the Exchange and Mart. Elderly surgeon, desperate to be remembered, needs window rattlers.
You can joke, old boy. I don't believe in enticing patients. I do have ethics.
Yes, but how will you ethically find more guinea pigs?
I'm trawling the Whitcliffe tomorrow to press gang any pillow blasters.
Yes. Personally, I can't be doing with all that achievement nonsense. I once hoped to be remembered for being found drunk under Joanna Lumley, but life goes on.
Mr. Hope Wynne, what is going on? Because I've just been given another operating list, and this one says you're doing Dr. Haslam's polyps tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
I'm doing them at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
That's not what it says here.
If you ask me, old boy, someone's been fiddling with Joyce's computer.
You mean jiggery-pokery?
You can't pull the wool over my eyes, Sheila. Why don't you come clean? You still care about Jonathan, don't you? You can tell me. Chucky?
Maybe, just a bit.
Maybe a lot. I think it's about time you two got back together again.
Joyce, I am content with Paco.
But you miss Jonathan.
Paco's good for me, makes me laugh.
So does my butcher, but I don't throw myself over the meat counter.
Joyce, he sets me on fire.
Fires die out, Sheila. And Jonathan might not be around to rake up the ashes.
I'm here to register a formal protest at having my list switched without notice.
Don't you start with me again.
Sister Patching has just given me another one. Apparently, I'm now doing Dr. Haslam's polyps operation at a time when, by quite astonishing coincidence, Mrs. Sabatini is free to invigilate.
It's you who's been interfering with my roster.
Just remember something very important that I have to do.
And what's more, you've taken away my normal scrub nurse and substituted Sister Patching.
Are you saying you won't work with Sister Patching?
I don't want you interfering with my routine.
Now look here.
Mrs. Sabatini.
Sister, Mr. Hope Wynne has just informed me that he refuses to work with you.
What?
There's so much a man can stand.
I am simply seeing to the efficient scheduling of this unit in my capacity as Director of Surgery.
I'm in charge of efficiency.
Just let me know the result. I'll work with the winner.
Stay right where you are, sister. I want witnesses to this. I am quite capable of doing this operation whether the patient on the table is Dr. Jonathan Haslam or the Wizard of Oz, and I will be the master in my own theatre. Oh, no wonder the man was snoring badly. He looks like a mushroom patch up here.
I once had a girl who used to snore the whole night.
You mean I'm not the first?
Even her dog had bags under its eyes.
It's unusual for a woman to snore badly.
It's unusual for a woman to do weightlifting.
Your girlfriend did weightlifting?
That's why I never told her about the snoring.
Not like Mr. Hope Wynne. I heard he told Mrs. Sabatini a thing or two.
She had it coming. If you ask me, it's about time that damn woman settled down. Have a look at this fine specimen of a chap under my knife. Decent, honest, loyal, hard-working. What does the stupid heifer do? Runs off with some sex-mad Spanish cook.
It's a good thing Mrs. Sabatini can't hear you, Mr. Hope Wynne.
She wouldn't dare set her foot in here. Not after the blasting I gave her.
I'm sure she wouldn't.
There comes a time when a man's got to be a man and show what he's made of. She won't dare cross George Hope Wynne again in a hurry.
Well, I think Mrs. Sabatini's a caring and warm human being.
The trouble is, too many of the staff are terrified of the silly parrot. Not me. Not anymore. I know how to handle her type.
And what is her type, Mr. Hope Wynne?
If she knew what I really thought of her.
What do you really think of her?
Cheryl?
I have this recurring dream that she's under me on the operating table. I'm about to take out her adenoids, and then I think, what the hell? And I chop off her tongue instead.
That's a bit harsh, Mr. Hope Wynne.
No, harsh is when he chops off her head.
Never in my professional life have I been subjected to such blatantly unethical behaviour. Do you think I'm not a competent surgeon? That I'm not capable of performing a simple operation without you slithering into my theatre like a queen cobra?
I was simply concerned about Jonathan, that's all.
Jonathan is my patient, and I do not take kindly to you poking your nose into every decision I make. I've got a wife for that.
I wasn't questioning your judgment.
I should think not. I was practicing medicine when you were still sucking your thumb.
It won't happen again.
It most certainly will not, because if it does, I will not be held responsible for my actions. Is that understood?
Perfectly, George.
Good.
I'm sorry.
Pardon?
I said I'm sorry.
Did I hear you right? Are you apologising to me?
Yes?
Could you say it again a little louder?
I said I'm sorry.
There is a God. Blow the lancet. That's how I want to be remembered.
I'd forgotten what it was like to breathe through my nose.
I'd forgotten what it was like to sleep through the night.
Is your sofa still free?
You know Sheila misses you.
Don't be ridiculous. In case you've forgotten, Joyce, Sheila dropped me.
While you were having your operation, she was having kittens.
Do you seriously expect me to believe that? Really?
Really. And I know you feel the same way about her. Go on, admit it. You can tell me. Chucky?
Don't touch them. She's injected them with a truth drug.
I hear you've been showing an interest in my case. Very kind of you, Sheila.
It's nothing personal. I take an interest in all the members of this department when they're ill.
Ha!
So, has it cured your snoring?
How do I know?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
What's that?
Sleep with him.